I'm going to be changing my VTEC solenoid gasket, which is this right here. It enables the VTEC to engage, and the cam plug, which is this metal circular piece right here. Here are the parts that I'm going to be using. OEM VTEC solenoid gasket. It's just the one that mounts the actual solenoid to the head, and not the spool valve solenoid to the lower part. That's a different part, different seal, more money. I'm assuming that this is the fix, because when I got the car it was leaking and I tried to repair it with RTV, and as you can see everything is just completely black. But yeah, so that's the part number right there. And the cam plug, I'm just using fake Skunk 2 eBay knockoff special. The only reason why I went with this because it's got actually like 3 O-rings. It's like 3 O-ring type, so if it does leak like years from now, I could just swap out the O-rings from the hardware store instead of buying a new cam seal, and metal is better than rubber. But yeah, so let me take this off. Parts you're gonna be needing is some RTV silicone maker, gasket maker I mean. Parts, 8mm wrench, 10mm wrench, 12mm socket extension. You don't need the extension. With ratchet, old school type torque wrench, or you can use a new digital style. It's up to you. Various sockets for your torque wrench. This is a cheap old one, but it just happens to have a 1/2 inch and a 3/8 drive. I use a soap just to cut the grease. Carb cleaner, water for the soap, and all-purpose degreaser just to cut the grease, because I'm gonna be cleaning a lot of this crap. Just the stuff that's underneath the distributor. I think the distributor is leaking also, the seal internal, but I gotta see. And then the rest of the stuff, I'm just gonna take it to the car wash and just blow it off that way. So the first thing is to take off the valve cover, the valve, what is that? Spark plug wire cover, and the valve cover. I'll put the stuff in a safe spot and don't lose it. Take out the plugs, plug wires. Wow, okay. Alright, so remove this breather. If you have a lot of RTV, you might want to try and crack it off and take off your ground, valve cover ground. This bracket on this side, I didn't need to take it off because the bolt backed out and I lost the bolt. Once you crack it off, collect your grommets. Set your valve cover aside. Make sure you don't drop it because I'm pretty sure you can crack it. It's so old and it's just cast aluminum. Alright, so basically I took the valve cover off. I'm going to take off the valve cover gasket just right here only, just to take off this cam cap. But I'm not going to take off the valve cover gasket all the way around because it kind of seals pretty good. And I RTV'd it all the way down, and I'm not gonna try and break the seal if I don't have to, so I'm just gonna remove it right here only. Alright, so I wanted just to disconnect the negative power lead, and yeah, because I'm gonna be taking off the VTEC solenoid, the pressure switch, which is right here, and this is the actual plug for the solenoid. I'm going to be taking off the distributor and just getting this nice and opened up now. But yeah, so I'm going to take off the VTEC solenoid, and it's going to be one 10mm here, and there should be another one on the bottom, and there should be, I believe, another one on this side. 3 total, I could be wrong. But yeah. Careful with these connectors, they're pretty old and petrified. Alright, so I actually have a zip tie. I don't want to take that zip tie off because I don't have any more. So I'll probably just take the bracket off if I could. Put the harness to the side. Try and tuck it away because harnesses love to get in the way. And that's the screw that I took off. Always put it back where it belongs, so if you have any doubts, you know where it's at. So try and get in there. I don't have a shorter extension than this, so, well, I don't have one on me, so it kind of sucks. I'm kind of winging it with the tools, actually, because I just brought random stuff from, like, everything I have, and it kind of sucks. Let me get this out the way. Okay. There should be... yeah, there's a third one all the way down. So, after you get them knocked loose, you can just go with your extension, and I lost my socket. My socket stayed on the fastener. Alright, so I got all the fasteners loose. Now it's time to just yank this thing off because I actually have RTV in there because I tried to make an earlier repair a few years ago. And let's see if I can take it off. Well, it's gonna come off, but it's probably gonna fight me a little bit. There's gonna be a little bit of oil. Oil is good because as long as you have oil, I ran across cars that didn't have any oil. Alright, so clean this up real nice. That's a VTEC solenoid. We'll get a better look at this right now. That's how it looks right there. You can see my old gasket maker. Make sure none of this gets inside of the engine, obviously, but mistakes do happen. And yeah, so I'm gonna try and take all this off as good as possible, and let's go check out the solenoid, clean it up, and apply the seal. Alright, well actually, in a matter of fact, I already have it clean, and just want to make sure, just go over it. And now that you see the machine surface is nice, it's ready for a gasket, and it's gonna start bleeding right there. I'm now gonna take off this piece right here, and take off this cap, and take off this plug, and replace this, and then I'm gonna replace the VTEC solenoid with the new seal. So now it's time to take this bracing off. Alright, so I'm gonna take this off. There's two 10mm on this side, two 10mm on this side, and the rest are 12mm. These are studs for the valve cover to hold them on, but it actually has the 12mm head on the bottom. So I don't have a deep socket right now, so I'm just gonna put a 12mm wrench to this and take these off, and then I'm gonna take these off with the ratchet. Alright, so I'm gonna take these 10s off first. Be careful with these. Let me see. Kind of want to put that on there. Shock it a little bit. Just shock that thread. You got to remember that these engines spin high, and more friction, more heat, and these small fasteners being so old and long and narrow, it's easy to snap these things inside and you have a bad day. So yeah. Be careful with your timing belt. Still got to do a video on that. But I actually haven't even got the pump yet. Alright. You don't have to remove these because they are pretty long. They'll stay in. But you might want to remove these. They'll find their way inside the engine. I already took these studs off camera. I took them off with the 12mm boxed in wrench. Now you get these and then you go from the outside in whenever you reinstall from the inside out. I already got these, so you just go here. Here. Center. Okay, now that everything's loose, take it off. Alright, so now that you have all your fasteners taken out, I have no power tools, so I got them out by hand just to make sure they pull up. I actually thought about this valve cover stud, but that doesn't hold down this actual piece. But I thought I had a fail moment. Make sure they're all up. Pull it straight up. Keep the fasteners in the right orientation and set this aside. Alright, so now we're back here. This is all silicone in, and there's dowels, I believe. So take out your fasteners, and having this valve cover doesn't make anything better, but that's just the way it's gonna be. I could probably get something in here to pry it. Okay, well actually it's this whole piece, so. I've done this before, but I forgot. There we go. Try not to mar anything up. Pull it straight up. Up and out. So now I'll take this to the side and clean it up. Alright, so my brother said check your lobes and check the condition of this, if you could feel anything, or if it still has this factory black look, you are good to go. If this has like a very bright machine finish like this, you got to change your oil, but there's nothing you can do. Nothing very bad, but this just shows you your condition of your engine, and since mine is black, it's kind of a good sign. I do believe I'm having low compression already across the board, at least it feels like. So having this black just really doesn't make a difference if your bottom is weak, but that's a whole nother subject. And so now this machine surface, clean it out. And there's some RTV inside of the thread, and that's not good because that can cause issues with the fastener not coming out, snapping, and other stuff. But yeah, so I'm gonna clean up this VTEC solenoid and the cap, and we'll throw in the seals. Yeah, so you can see how dirty that is. Let me try and get the light. Shine it up a little bit. That should be a little better. I'm gonna get my brake clean. Try and stay away from the solenoid. Get this stuff away from electronics. You can get it around the pressure switch, but don't get it inside of there. Look at this gunk right here. Oh, look at that. That's amazing for me. Crazy. That sucked that I did that. It was actually almost blocking this. Oh, by the way, guys, if I read something and I sound like a retard, it's because I read through the camera and not the actual thing. So it's like I'm screwing myself by looking through the camera screen and not the actual item or whatever I'm reading. And this is actually plastic right here, and it's snapped like plastic. Look, it just broke off. You know what would be a good idea? To match this to my other one, because if this doesn't match up to my other one, you know what that means.